Everybody, welcome back to the channel. So, the S&P 500 futures and the Nasdaq futures are currently down after talks between the US and Iran fell apart. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with y'all the top two stocks to keep on your watch list for this specific week. It's going to be a big week. It is. And I want y'all to be prepared for it. I'm also going to be doing an update on some of the stocks that I've mentioned in the last video. Now, let's dive into the charts right off the bat. We have the Nasdaq futures, and again, we're currently down by about negative 0.8% right here, and we're hanging on right above 25,000. In the last video, I told y'all to keep the bigger picture in mind, and that to watch for intraday opportunities, especially to the long side. I also told you guys that the highest that I could see QQQ for that week, because I recorded that video in this week, right here, the first week of April. I told you the highest price that it could go was 591 or 592, and this thing actually exceeded expectations and went all the way up to 610. The bulls are now in control of the market. Okay, and a few things can happen right now. Tomorrow, let's see, 660 somewhere around here. We might see a retest of 595 at the end of the week before we close the week right at 606. All right, so something like this wouldn't surprise me, because when the market makes big moves, what usually tends to happen next after said big moves is a doji. It's very annoying. It is frustrating, but knowing that should give you the insight to kind of not go too crazy on swings and to focus more on intraday opportunities. Okay, that's what I think is going to be best for this specific week. Now, the first stock to talk about in today's video, the first stock to discuss, is going to be Microsoft. Now, I want to share Microsoft because relative to the other tech stock, this one is lagging by quite a bit. All right. After hours is down $2, which is fine. And I told you before, after a reaction like this from earnings, what tends to happen is a whole quarter being red. So, and I mentioned that like a while ago. So this right here does not surprise me at all. We had a downtrend. We went lower and lower and lower again. At the bottom, the stock is given small candles, which is frustrating for swing traders. The only good day that it had was between Tuesday and Wednesday of last week, after it formed an ascending triangle that didn't quite break out just yet. This one, I didn't catch it at all because it was just difficult to read, and it didn't have confirmation it didn't have any confirmation of the breakout during the middle of trading hours. Other stocks did though. Other stocks did, and I'm going to share with y'all exactly how y'all could have got that and the trade that I took between Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, but for Microsoft itself, have your alert right at 370, right there. Okay, and patiently wait for it to ring. It's retesting support once again at 367, and short sellers from here will be looking to cover out the gates. And as y'all can see, I do have this structure drawn out because I took a day trade on it on Friday with the intention of selling it at 367 on Friday. And fortunately for me, I had to get rid of it right here because it just started to curl back up and it just wouldn't fall, and I did not get back in. That's the mistake that I've made with Microsoft. All right, but if I didn't make that mistake and I was in with put Microsoft, right, and the stock is doing exactly what I knew it would do at that specific time, the first thing that I would do is to get rid of all of my puts before this thing starts to spike, right? That's why I'm making a video on Microsoft right now, so that we can take advantage of the push back up after the short sellers cover at 367. Okay, so just watch and see exactly how it opens in the morning, and have your alerts right here. And also look at the bottom for volume. We're looking for a big volume, and we're looking for a reversal, and we're looking for short sellers to cover at these lows. That way the bulls can make money from 367 all the way up to like 374, 375 by the end of the day on Monday. Yes, the futures are negative, but I think that the overall market, I think, is going to hold its own on that specific date, and I think it's going to rebound. Now, the next stock that I want to share with y'all in today's video is none other than Palantir, for slightly similar reasons. Yeah. So Palantir had a massive dump between Wednesday and Friday. It just kept falling and falling. It showed one structure right there, followed by a breakdown right here at 145. And it just kept fading all the way below 140, below 130, and now it went down to 122. A retest of the previous low from February, right? Now, I'm sharing this one today because of this hammer right here. The volume is huge, and despite the fact that the Nasdaq is down, this stock is up. So for Monday, I'm expecting Palantir to show the most amount of strength after reaching this level right here, and after causing a lot of people to stop out too. This is brutal, right? So the lows in this region is right at 126.2. And then on Friday, it dipped even lower, stopped a lot of people out, which is why the volume is so massive, right? And obviously there's dip buyers who stepped in here too. So there's a bunch of dip buyers. The wick itself was caused by people getting stopped out, and buyers getting back in, closing it above the level of support. Tomorrow's about to open at 129, which is right here. So eyes on Palantir for the formation of a morning star. That would be crazy to see. It would be epic. It would be really, really epic to see a green candle like this to form the morning star before this thing actually continues to uptrend. All right. It's possible. I'll be looking at it. Like I'm setting an alert right now, as you can see, at 1:30, and when it rings, I'll be looking to take a day trade on it long after short sellers cover at market open. All right, so keep Palantir on your radar for a potential bounce. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, how high is it going to go and how long is it going to last? It could be a dead cat bounce, but again, we're traders. All right, we're taking advantage of these short-term moves, and we're adapting as the market continues to twist and turn. Now, the next stock that we gotta discuss in today's video, let me answer somebody's question. Somebody asked me to look at Tesla again, because I mentioned Tesla before, and I told y'all that this Tesla would ping pong in between two different levels. It didn't quite get that high. Between Tuesday and Wednesday, it had its gap up, right? So we have like the push. We had the push right here up to 367, and then it got sold into, and then it ended up touching 340 and staying right here. So this bearish structure is quite strong, and it's playing out really, really well. I'm not really sure exactly where it's gonna go. Like, I really don't know. Like, it did its thing. Now we're just supposed to wait until it shows us, until it gives us another sign. Earnings is in what, 2 weeks? It's in about a week and a half. So I really don't have any high expectations until earnings day, right? Because earnings day is when it's going to decide Tesla's fate. Whether we really crack below this long-term line of support right here, lots of buyers at this 350 level. All right, it's going to decide whether we break below it and drop below 300, or we survive and stay up here for like another week or two before we fall again, because eventually the market will fall again. All right, so that's my thoughts on it. Now, the last stock that we gotta discuss in today's video is WBC, the memory side of things, the memories of the semis. This one is squeezing. I made a video about it prior in the middle of March, warning y'all that it could break above 330 and go. It failed at that time, and then it retested the bottom of 250. And with the recent push that we've seen, this thing is actually squeezing higher, right? So these short sellers are not having such a great time. These individuals, they're really, really not. Am I ready to short this thing? The answer is no. At least not yet. Not yet. I wanted to go higher. I wanted to go really, really, really high. Like above 400, maybe 450. That's when I'll be really interested. That's when I wouldn't be able to resist the urge to short it. So I would just say be very, very patient. And hopefully the volume gets a lot bigger than it is now. That's what I'm gonna say. Now, I told y'all before that I'm gonna share with y'all the trades that I took this week. So let's check those out real quick. All right, so this is the Discord. And between the, what is this? Yeah, between April 2nd and April 6th, I took a trade on CRM. This one I lost money on it because the stock just wouldn't go anywhere. It opened at 186 and then started to fall, and then I had to stop out of it literally 6 minutes after the market opened. The next trade I took after that was Palantir. Kind of sloppy between 147 and 145. But it ended up actually making it. They ended up actually making it down there. And after this one, the next trade, which was the clue that I wanted to like highlight for those of y'all who may have missed the move between Tuesday and Wednesday before they released that news. This is what Google showed. All right, Google looked like this. It had an ascending triangle right here, and the confirmation of this trade was right above the line, and that's where I ended up buying calls for the sole purpose of selling it at 311 on a Wednesday. Luckily for me, this thing actually opened up at 320, and I had to get out of all of my calls on Google because the move was just too massive and I knew it was gonna go back down. Now let's go back here. Let's go back here and let's check this out. So this is what happened last week. I wanted to make a video about it, but I just started to take off way too aggressively. Like usually I release my videos at 8 p.m. usually, right? But the stock was already up here and I just didn't see the point anymore. That's why I didn't make a video last week, Tuesday afternoon. That's why I didn't make a video on it. But yeah, this thing jumped and it went all the way up to 322 and I got out of everything immediately. All right, so that was one setup. The other tech stock that really looked good at the same time, which could have helped y'all know that this big move was coming, was on Amazon. And Amazon had a much bigger structure on the 1 hour. Again, this little recap is to help anybody who may be new and are wondering why they missed that big move. All right, so we have Amazon. Amazon had an ascending triangle, much bigger ascending triangle. And again, between Tuesday and Wednesday, confirmation right here, right when it closed above the line, right above 213. I missed this because I just thought Google looked great and Google looked better. So I chose Google instead. Amazon ended up paying a lot more though, which I'm kind of mad about, but that's okay. Another one will show up eventually. The other stock, again, I'm gonna give you more examples. The other stock that showed its structure with confirmation was TSM. TSM had a beautiful break out right there, right? So that was the other one, and that was the reason why the push was so violent on tech. Apart from the news, again, for those of y'all who, the news said there was some ceasefire, the deal with about a ceasefire lasting for 2 weeks. That's the news that market makers put out to justify this move. But we trade patterns here. This is how we do things, okay? And that's the way that I see things happening. The news is just the news is the news. All right, we make money, or we try not to miss out on these big moves by using structures, and then the news just validates it anyways. All right, at least that's the way that I see it. Some of you may disagree. Some of you have been disagreeing with me for years, which is fine. And again, I'm in the comment section. If you have any thoughts, just drop them down there. All right. So that's pretty much the recap of what happened last week, why the big move occurred, and how you could have caught it. And that is the end of the video. Again, I'm not your financial advisor. Do your own research and make your own decisions. If you disagree with anything that I've mentioned in this video, drop it in the comment section of the video. And lastly, don't forget to follow my social media at Paul and Goodman at Patternology Lab on Instagram and on X. And lastly, don't forget to like and follow for more.